Oh my, hello. Hey Glick, how you doing, man?
There was a lot going on in a very short time on that intro.
I know, I told you it was going to be a quick one because tonight, I'm so excited for tonight. Glick, we're in fucking A, dude. We're going to interview a ghost hunter, a local one from my local area.
Yeah, from your local area, and we're dipping our
Yes.
toes into my area of special interest, something that I'm very fond of, the paranormal, and you guys are pricks and won't ever let me talk about it on my own network. So,
Well, you'll have all night, you'll have all episode to do that. So this gentleman that I'm going to bring up, his name is Kurtis Collins. He is a ghost hunter. You can catch him on an episode of season 4, episode 25 of My Ghost Hunter. It's on Amazon. You have to pay for it though. $3 for the episode, or buy the whole season. If you do catch the clip, it's like the first 11 minutes. But we're going to bring him up and introduce him, and we're going to get this ball rolling. He drove through my drive-through the other day at the liquor store, and he was like, "Hey, man, you believe in ghosts?" And here we are. This is going to be a 3-parter.
A chance meeting.
It
was the spirit realm that was driving you guys together.
Well, it was a liquor store. There's plenty of spirits around.
Yeah, well, there is other spirits.
Yes. But this is going to be a 3-parter tonight. Tonight, we're bringing him up. We're going to do an interview with him. Friday night, Michael and I is actually going to go out on a hunt. Michael's going to be the cameraman, and I'm going to be part of the hunt, per se. And then we'll upload that later, of course, and then we're going to have a follow-up with the editing, or going through the EVPs and the audio and all that stuff. And we'll get more into details with that. So without further ado, let's bring on Kurtis. Hey, Kurtis,
gentlemen, how are you doing? I'm doing great, man.
Good. Well, shoot. First question, Kurtis. What got you into ghost hunting, man?
Man, 6 years old. Believe it or not. Going through a graveyard, families all stacked into the car, cousins, aunts, all this stuff. My brother throws a cup out of the car, and my mom turns to me and says, "Hey, can you go get that cup? Because we're in a cemetery, man." You know, I ran out, got the cup, and there's a guy leaning against the a tombstone. Now imagine James Dean, man, cigarettes and the t-shirt and all that stuff. I look at this guy, he says hi, then I notice he has nothing from the waist down. It's just see-through. I thought, well, okay, that's different. Ran back to the car and asked my cousin, I said, "Look at that guy, something's wrong with him," and nobody could see him. So I figured, okay, we got something going on. And that was the beginning, man.
Okay. All right.
That'll definitely pique your interest right there. Get your curiosity. Yeah. Definitely. That'll scare the hell out of you. One of the two, and make you not want to go to the cemetery.
Yeah, no, I spend so much time in cemeteries. It's bizarre.
So before we get more into the ghost hunting, I thank you for sharing your first story. I wanted to start with that. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background. Not just the ghost aspect. That's definitely going to be where we're going to be diving more into it. But I mean, you're. I'm just gonna have to brag. You're a veteran like me, so I just want to bring that up real quick so we get that out of the way. So.
Yeah, veteran, 20 years, been all over the world, man. After that, 10 years as a cop, and then just to get away from the ex-wife, I took up truck driving, brother, and off I went. Got me away.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. I'm sure that. Go ahead, Glick. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say that's a hell of a reason to become a truck driver.
Hey, got me out of there, brother.
Don't want to divorce you, but I got to get the fuck away from you. I need a break.
Yeah, somebody was gonna, somebody had to do it, and I couldn't see her behind the wheel of a truck, so off I went.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Glick, what do you got? Any questions? I know, Glick. All right, so just real quick, everybody. I'm I'm a non-believer in it when it comes to ghosts. I haven't found anything that convinces me of the existence. Glick, however, is on the opposite coin. Glick is a believer. So Glick, from your perspective, man, what do you have any questions for Kurtis?
I'm just curious, you said that it started out when you were young in the cemetery. When did you actually dive into the world of investigations and stuff like that? Was it something after you got out of the military, or how long have you been doing it?
No, since before I got out of the military. I've been doing it for quite a long time. Pretty much when I got away from home as an 18-year-old guy, any off time I spent doing this because, too much going on around me. And I thought, you know what, I've got to get this shit under control. So off I went on that little trail.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So did it start out as and I don't, did it start out as a hobby for you, or is it something or is it still a hobby for you, or is it something that you try to do as kind of a part-time job gig or anything? Is there any money in it?
I'll be honest with you, I've never charged a dime ever because, I want to get in there and I want to help people. A lot of people, man, contact me with trouble actually around a haunting. And, I'm not going to go in there and charge any money, man. I'm just going to charge in and take care of business. But it's not a job. It's when somebody calls, I'm on the way. That's it.
Okay.
Nice.
I never even thought about that. The money in ghost hunting. I figured there was money in ghost hunting.
Some people do, some people don't. It's kind of like Blaze and I were talking earlier this afternoon about, some people go out there and they take it very seriously. They take it very seriously what they're doing, and they want to find actual proof. Like we were talking backstage, you're not like, the wind blows the door open and you're not like, oh my God, there's a ghost, everybody. And then you try to convince everybody else that it's an actual ghost. There are people out there, and I've got that feeling about you, Kurtis, that you take it very seriously. And you if you get actual evidence, obviously that's the goal. But you're not going to go out there just willy-nilly and screw off and, take it just.
And this is why it's really hard. I'm sorry, but this is why it's really hard to go with somebody because so many people see these shows on TV, Ghost Adventures and the kind. So one thing happens and they're screaming and, oh my God, a frog just jumped in front of me. Or whatever, it's like, okay, man, this probably isn't for you, but yeah, evidence has to be solid. Man.
Okay. So, like I mentioned before, you guys can find an interview with him or a segment on My Ghost Stories. And so I'm using some of my questions springboard off of that. You had mentioned something about sensing spirits. Sensing ghosts. Can you explain how that works? Can you explain how that sensation feels?
Yeah. If you've ever driven by something with a lot of electricity, man, whatever it is, power unit on the side of the road, and you feel that electricity, you feel that pressure, that's the same thing with the ghost. Same thing, man. You can tell when they're in the room, especially when they're really close.
Okay.
You definitely get the you might the goosebumps or the hair on the back of your neck rising, or you get there's definitely 100% a feeling behind that. You feel a presence. Like Blaze, you like to go out and you like to wander the woods aimlessly.
I do.
You ever get that feeling like somebody's watching you, like somebody's looking at you or something like that?
I have had that feeling plenty of times, but I'm usually on cannabis when I'm out in the woods, so I usually chalk it up to that. But no, I have had that feeling like was somebody just watching? No, I know what you mean. I also know what you mean by like transformer plants. You got that humming, the electricity. I know what you mean by that. So I've never felt that anywhere but a situation like that, though.
I tell you what's interesting, man. I actually bumped into a ghost, and we scared each other. I mean, I've got this on EVP. The ghost is like, "Hey, who are you?" I'm like, "Who are you?" Bumped straight into him, man.
Interesting.
Huh. That would be cool to hear.
Where were
Yeah, I
you when you
definitely have
bumped? Where were you when you bumped into this ghost? Was it?
I was in the courthouse in Elizabethtown. You know, the one that sits in the middle of the square, that big building?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'm up there doing an investigation for the county. And yeah, so when I bumped into him, man, and there we go. That whole area there, around that courthouse, I've done investigations in almost every building, and that place is haunted. I mean, it is thick haunted. So
that is the older part of town. I can see that too. Given and that that's actually something else I wanted to bring up. That was actually on the notes that I lost, and I didn't write those on my new notes. But I'm glad you brought that up. That was a question of mine. Let's say you're trying to find a place to hunt, but you don't have any leads or anything, and you're like, well, there's old places. Can you cold spot? I don't know if that's the right terminology, but cold spot a place that potentially is haunted. Is there signs? I guess if let's say you're strolling down the road, looking for a place to hunt, but you have, no leads, you're in a new place. Is there like signifiers in an area or a place that would tell you, hey, this is a potential place that's haunted?
just go to the building, walk up to the building. As soon as I hit the building, man, not having to go inside, but as soon as I hit it, I know, okay, this one is hot, this one is not, that kind of thing.
Okay. Just back to that sense.
Yeah, I hit one building, man, when was that? Anyway, I had bad dreams about that building for like 2 weeks. Never went inside. But yeah, and so never went in. I'm not doing that one.
Oh man, all right, so Kurtis has already told me where we're going to do our hunt, and I have not got the chance to look into it yet. But I did circle around because when I was talking to you, I was actually down the road from it. I was coming back from the riverfront, and when I was talking to you. So I drove down that way. It's Cap Anderson Graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one on Main Street. So if anybody out there wants to look that up, go for it. Do your own little research. I challenge you to it. So with that being said, I did have some more questions for you.
Kurtis, when you guys go out on investigations, what all kinds of tools do you guys use? Because I know everybody has their own set of things that they like to use, particular devices, tools. Some of them are even, hey Mandy, some of them are even old school ways, like the rods and stuff like that. What is your preference when you go out as far as tools and equipment go?
Man, I see all these young people buying all this new stuff, REM pods and this and that and this and that. You don't need that stuff, man. You don't need that stuff. Can I show you something real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Let me show you this.
I love show and tell. It's perfect.
Bam.
Time for it.
I'm sure you've all heard of this, seen this. This is a ghost portal, ghost box, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And what happens with it is it jumps frequencies so fast that if you get a solid word or response on it, you assume that is a ghost answering you or spirit.
Yeah.
Now, list price on this about $90. Great. $19. And this is what we call a shack hack. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is for all the viewers that are looking at actually getting this. $19, man, does the same thing and it does it better.
Nice.
All you got to do is go in this. Yes, it's $19, man. It's a shack hack. You go in, open it up, you clip one little nodule in there, and then it doesn't stop on stations. It just keeps skipping like the $90 one does. And this does a better job. So when I go out, I use motion sensors, of course, video cameras, recorders. I use all kinds of stuff, man. But to me, it all comes down to the tape or the voice recorder, and that's a trick in itself as well.
What about? Oh, go ahead.
Do you use just a standard like voice recorder, or do you have something in specific that you like to use?
Here's a trick with a voice recorder, man. The voice recorder, most of them built today, especially the high-end ones, have what's called a noise reducer in it. A noise, knock off the background noise. You don't want that, because most EVPs are going to come through in that background noise. So you'll miss them. The recorder will shoo them away. So you got to be careful with that. The cheaper ones, I've got high end, man, but cheaper ones are always better.
Okay. What, I know this is going to go probably with location, the time of day or night. But what about lighting equipment? Is lighting, go ahead.
What do you mean, lighting during the day?
No, well, obviously you're not going to use lighting during the day, but what type of lighting do you use? Do you use any sort of diffusers, any sort of the names, the words are escaping me at the moment. Oh shoot! So when you're taking photos inside a house, is it recommended that the lights are turned off, down low, on? Is there a certain amount of light, or because I've noticed when I look at a lot of these photos and videos and stuff, being somewhat familiar with how photos and lighting works, and how sometimes when you're shooting photos, even digitally, orbs pop up, lighting anomalies pop up, and I was wondering, how do you know the difference between an actual haunting or ghost sighting or something paranormal as compared to just a light effect?
Yeah, I get this all the time, man. I get people sending me photos saying, I'm haunted or I'm being haunted because they have orbs all over the place, all, covering the living room. And, I ask them, did you just turn your air conditioner on? They say, yeah. So we'll turn it off and take a picture in 10 minutes. It's gone. You're looking at dust, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Orbs is one of the worst forms of evidence and I have used orbs one time. That's it. And now if an orb is giving off its own energy, its own light, you look at that. Take a good look at that one. But the rest of them, no. Orbs are poor for me. I mean, in my opinion, poor evidence.
Yes, EVP is electronic voice phenomenon.
A lot of times the orbs, they, like you said, dust particles or even bugs, especially if you're like outside or you're in a abandoned house or something like that, or like an asylum, or an old prison where there's windows missing and shit like that. You're gonna get bugs and critters that fly in. I've been watching some shows before, and they're freaking out about orbs, and I'm like, you just walked into an old ass building and kicked up a whole bunch of freaking dust. You've been running around setting up equipment for the last 4 hours. Like, what the hell do you think is gonna? Oh my God, we caught 500 orbs. Nope, that's just dust in the air. Calm down. So yeah, I'm with you, Kurtis. Sometimes the pictures of the orbs and stuff like that, I just throw away and just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't rely on those whatsoever, man. Because I know, it's obvious, like you said, man, bugs, dust, it could be anything, So those
I want to take a turn from the questions. I do have some more, but we are all dust in the wind. We are all okay. Anyway, I'm not singing that freaking song right now. I want to hear. I'd like to shoot. How can I phrase a story? I mean, I'm like, hey, tell me a story. That's not what I mean, but I would a good. You brought up about how people can get scared. Have you have you been on a hunt where you yourself have been to the point where it's like, I have to step out of here?
One time, man. One
You
time.
sh- you
And
share that.
it was in E-Town, and I was going in for a pre-investigation. When I'm going inside a business or somebody's house, I want to do a pre-investigation during the day. I want to see, you know, where the hot spots are for electricity, yada 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 yada. Get a lay of the land. I went into, it was a building in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. I went in, and it has a really strong history with the Civil War, you know. And I was told that this one room they kept prisoners in when they caught them coming through the Confederate soldiers. I said, okay, let me go in there and check this out real quick, and just to, you know, take a look at it. There was a ghost squatting in the floor. He couldn't have been probably 100 pounds, man. He was, you know, just not being fed, you know, while in captivity. And the look in his eye, man, was so evil. And he just jumped at me screaming. And my ass went through the door back that way. And that's the only time, it's the only time I've ever ran. And matter of fact, my team saw me run out the door and they thought, oh my God, we've never seen you run. What are we doing here?
That means they should run.
Yeah, it was intense, man.
All right. Oh wow. Okay. What's your methodology? In other words, once you finished recording, doing your video and your audio, and you're going through all your evidence that you've gathered, what's your methodology of screening it, pointing out, deciphering what's garbage and what's real, basically, or allegedly real?
Yeah. First off, I don't change it, man. It's raw. I might get the volume up a little bit or take the volume down depending on what's going on. Or maybe a video or a picture, I might add a little bit more light to it, you know, excuse me, just so I can see. But that is a long method. If I'm doing 4 hours, 5 hours worth of recording on one voice recorder and I have 5 of those things, you know, think about that. And it's not just listen and go straight through. It's like, whoa, what was that? Stop it, reanalyze, see what you got. Now do that with 5 voice recorders, say 4 cameras, all kinds of video camera footage. It takes a while. And I, of course, do it on a computer. I download everything to the computer and start running it through a program. It's called Audacity, which is great.
Oh, okay. I have actually used that myself from time to time for audio editing. Okay. How long do you usually spend on a hunt, like time wise? Of course, it depends. I'm sure the size of the area, but
that completely depends on how much information I have, man. How much stuff I have to look through. I've gone at times 2 weeks, not constant, of course. You know, I had to go to work, but 2 weeks looking at evidence.
okay.
And sometimes it's frustrating, man, because you come up with 2 EVPs. It's like, okay, well, shit, I got 2.
All right.
I mean, that's I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, that's not it's not an L to take. I mean, you get any evidence at all, you know, you might as well chalk that up as a win.
Yeah, I guess you can look at it like that, man. But you know, I'm so used to getting so much evidence. But I've been in very haunted places, man. Places where they meet you at the door, even. It's crazy.
So this is something because, you know, I've had experiences and stuff. Is it just add to the spook factor? What's the point in only doing investigations? I see that a lot of investigators only do any stuff at night.
You want the ghost to be comfortable, man. You want them to be comfortable. And doggone it, excuse me. It really angers me to see people run into a building, you know, and start screaming, act like they're in charge, and well, they're not going to get anything. You know what ghost is going to hang around and say, "Oh, okay, This is kind of an abrasive dude. I'm out of here. So the best way, the way I take it is to go in at nighttime. And I've met a lot of ghosts during the day as well. Don't get me wrong here. You can do an investigation at day. That can be done, no problem. But they are more comfortable at night. And if you just go in calmly, patiently, and act like a human being, well, you're going to get a lot of people come around you and see what you're doing. You know?
Curiosity factor.
Absolutely.
You think so? Ghosts are just as curious about us as we are them.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. If I had hours, I could tell you all kinds of stuff that I've encountered, but most all ghosts have always met me at the door. As soon as I come in, they're down there saying, "Hey, who are you? What you doing?" That kind of thing, you know. Just like I said, be a nice guy, man. Just be a nice guy.
Don't be a dick, please.
I was gonna say, all right. What if the ghost is being an asshole? Can I be an asshole back then? I mean, just saying. But I asked that jokingly, of course. But I do want to bring up or ask the question because I know you had brought it up in that one episode. Some of this is I've never really sat down and watched a lot of that stuff, so a lot of this is kind of new to me. But yeah, like Michael said, greet you at the door. What? Now I lost my train of thought. Fudge. Have you been harmed? And because I know it's been stated that it is possible to be harmed by a ghost.
Yeah, well, you kind of got to define harmed. You know what I mean?
A scratch, a bruise, an unpleasant feeling.
I've had my eyes poked. You know, I've had
that would be a harm. That would be harm.
We can count that as a harm, sure, man. I've had been setting up equipment and had it yanked from me and thrown across the room. Yeah, poked, prodded, hair pulled, things like that, but nothing that I would say, okay, yeah, I'm in fear of my life right now. Never, okay. Nothing like that.
All right, I guess that would have been my ultimate question. Have you ever heard of anything like that happening? And because I'm sure you probably talk to other ghost hunters occasionally, share stories. I was wondering if you've heard any story where people have gotten hurt. And I'm only asking. I'm only asking just for the stories themselves, to what's out there.
And when that happens, it's usually the ghost hunter is hurting himself or herself. You know, get freaked out and run off the stairs. It's like, okay, well, there you go. You know, broke a leg. But I've never heard anybody tell me that they've been harmed in that way by a ghost. A demon, yes, absolutely.
That's a good question, Benji. You ever have to worry about shoot? You want to bring that one back up, Michael? Sorry. Ever worry about attachments once you leave a place?
Yep, they've come home with me. Had one lady. She was pretty nice, actually. Doggone it, what was her name? She came home with me and woke me up one day, and I spun in the bed to see who it was. You know, I felt her breath on my ear. And you know, when you're just coming out of sleep, it's like, okay, I'm having a dream type thing. And I turn around and looked, and I see her running through my bedroom door to leave. So it's like, okay, well, she followed me. My Chihuahua hated her.
I think Chihuahuas hate anything but their own master.
Yeah, she took my son's drum set, and you know, the bass drum. She rolled it. You know, nobody's around it. She just rolls it across the floor. Things like that. But you know, she finally went home. We got her out of there.
How much do you have? Do you have anything like that on camera, or on video evidence?
At my house,
just in general, like from a hunt or anywhere.
Actually, I have a picture of her. My son took it, and she's standing behind me. She was a nurse in the Civil War, and I don't know if you guys know this, but they wore something that looks like a nun's habit, kind of,
Mhm.
you know. And yeah, she's standing behind me. She's got this garb on, man, just kind of looking at me. Yeah, so I have that. You know how many pictures I've caught of a ghost? Not a damn one.
Okay.
I have never
All
caught
right.
one. People around me have, but I've never caught one.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. So just mostly just all audio or EVPs.
EVPs. I've got odd
And that
things
was
on
a good
camera.
question. That was a good question, Benji. I'm definitely gonna circle back to that here in a second. I do want to put a pin in that. You had said other people around you have gotten pictures. Have you ever worked with other ghost hunters? I know you said you brought up you've had a crew before, but have you
Absolutely.
ever done collaborations?
Absolutely, man, all the
Yeah.
time.
All right.
If a ghost hunter calls me and says, "Hey, we need help with this," I'm on the way, man. You know. But
And
you
that
know, you
would
gotta be you gotta be careful with this stuff. Holy shit. I went on an investigation with a group. I didn't know them very well. I heard of them. And they took me out to the woods to some fort out there and started praying to the trees and stuff. And I thought I might be in the wrong place. You know what I mean?
is it a
Bunch
witch's
of
covenant?
kooks.
There you
Sounds like a
go.
witch's covenant. Yeah, there is. All right, so just a little backstory of the area we live in, because Curtis and I are from the same, or we're in the same area. I'm not from this area, but I reside here. Oh shoot! Now the witch's name escapes my freaking. It's
You
a
talking about the
thing.
Brandenburg witch?
Yes, but she's got an actual name, not the Brandenburg witch, something else witch. But basically, the
Mm-hmm.
Meade County. That's a big thing every October too. You know much about that? Have you been on one of those hunts?
Oh, nobody has. I've tried so hard to get to her gravesite. Apparently, if a male goes to her gravesite, she is going to pop up and say hello. And you better be a
Where's this?
gentleman, from what I understand. It's here in Meade County.
Find it. I want to do it.
It's you can't get in, man. This dude that owns it, unless you're a family, and he's documented every grave in there. Unless you're a family member, man, he's not letting you in. It's a private type thing. And I don't sneak into places like that, you know. It's like, okay, no. So I haven't gotten to her yet, man. But
Fair
she's
enough.
the only witch in this area that had actually been hanged for being a witch. Only one.
Yeah, it's not the Brandenburg witch, but they celebrate it in
No,
Brandenburg. But it's an adjacent city, or it's all in the same area. I mean, oh my gosh, this is gonna be killing me all night, but I'm not gonna stop. And anybody down there in the audience wants to Google the Brandenburg witch for me, go for it. Um, hit that up. So with that being said, I want to circle back to Benji's questions. Have you ever worked with a psychic medium?
do you know any?
I don't. I don't even know if I'm just as skeptical about psychics as I am about ghosts. So
And I am the same. I've had a lot of meetings with them. They've asked me to come and meet with them, and I have not met an actual psychic medium yet. I know they exist, man. People out there are talented, but everybody that I've been asked to meet with is charlatan. So um, there you are.
okay, cool. Well, Benji, there's your answers.
Hell
Psychics
no, don't work with
may
them
or may not be
phonies.
real.
What was that, Glick?
Don't work with them phonies.
No,
I have.
man. If I met somebody legitimate and they could prove it, man, I'd be on board. But
I mean, you're kind of in the same boat as psychics, whether you believe in psychics or not. You're kind of in the same boat when it comes to skeptics and stuff. Like Blaze himself, prove to me that ghosts exist. You know, like, well, you could say that you've seen them and everything else, but you know, that only goes so far. With a skeptic, they're gonna go, yeah, okay, you know, I've seen spirits too. I work in a liquor store, you know, so you know, you're kind of got that same uphill battle that a psychic is gonna have.
Battletown Witch. Thank you, Michael.
Bam, that's her.
That's the witch. I would like. I'm gonna do my own research to find out where this grave is. I might happen to know the guy. I might know somebody knows the guy. I might be able to get us in there. I don't know. I'm just
all right, but he carries a shotgun, brother.
Well, I mean, if he's open to allowing us in there, I'm not going to be worried about a shotgun. I mean,
and something you said, Glick. You're talking about okay. Am I going to know one or find somebody a psychic that is actually a psychic, right? A medium. I've had a ghost tell me I'm fake. An actual ghost tell me, hey, he's a fake.
Who is Leah? Who's
got
Leah
it on EVP
Smock?
too, man.
Yeah.
Who's Leah Smock?
I don't know.
I don't know who Leah Smock is, Michael.
I think those are just the ADHD ramblings of
Leah Smock is the Battletown Witch.
Oh, that's her name. Oh,
okay.
Fuck yeah. I'm not prepared for this. I'm not the ghost guy though, Glick.
Think I care about Kentucky?
So
come on, man.
I want to touch on the standard of evidence. Just real quick, because this is where my brain keeps going all night. I'm familiar with the science method, like peer review and etc. Is there any of that within the ghost hunting community where you guys will share evidence, peer review? Like you're listening to an EVP, one person might hear a specific thing, somebody else might. Is there like a consensus? Is there, you guys ever get together and share evidence? Let's say you know a network of ghost hunters that have all hunted the same place relatively around the same time. You guys, is there ever anybody that gets together and compares notes and evidence to see if there's more of a peer review consensus on this stuff?
Absolutely, all the time, man. You know, if I have a doubt about something, I'll send it to ghost hunters who I trust that are doing the same thing I am, just taking solid evidence. And if I have a question about it, man, I'll send it to them. They'll send it back, you know, and say, no, that's not an EVP. So that goes out. Even if I think it might be, if I get somebody telling me who I trust and say, no, it's not it. It's out it goes, man. It's not kept.
Okay. All right. Well,
do you only do investigations in your area? Because I mean, Kentucky has some pretty hot spots. Bobby Mackey's, Waverly Hill. Bobby Mackey's obviously probably one of the most popular right outside of Waverly Hills. There's some other places there as well. I won't bore people by rattling off a bunch of names and showing how much of a nerd I am. But do you get outside of your local area, or do you get outside of Kentucky into other areas?
Yeah, I have many times. And you know what it's going to depend on? The mileage is going to depend on the severity of the hunt. Okay. Mm-hmm. If I get word that there's children in the house, you know, I'll go to Ohio, not Northern Ohio, but because I know people along the way that can take care of it. But absolutely, man. Absolutely. I guess I would probably go, you know, I'd do an overnighter somewhere. Nice. That wouldn't bother me.
Benji, you're asking some of the same questions I had. The portal question. So this, of course, I'm going to bring up because I've heard you talk about it. What is a portal? How does it work? How do you know when there is or isn't one there, other than video or photo evidence? Are they closable? Because I know you've talked about helping ghosts go to the other side or something like that.
Yeah, crossover.
Crossover. Thank you. is that how the portal comes into play?
No, not at all. And if I could give you a straight scientific answer, Blazin, I would do it. I can't. I know they exist. I know they can pour all kinds of fun things out of them. They can be closed. Yes, they can be closed. But it takes a lot to do that. A lot of energy, a lot of people. I couldn't do that. If I had to go in and do it by myself, man, you know what? No, it's not going to work.
Okay.
But yeah, they're very, and you'll feel it when you get into a place. The portal gives off so much energy, man. It's I want to liken it to a wormhole in space, if I can do that. And that is about as close as I can get to explaining it.
So the energy, is there any way to measure this energy? Like I know typical energy when talking about physics would be in joules. Paranormally, Army of Darkness. I love
There it
that
is.
movie.
There it is, man. I love it.
I love that movie. Are you a movie guy, Kurtis?
Absolutely, man.
Man, I might have you come up on a Friday night with Michael and I and just talk about movies.
I actually drive my wife nuts with my movie knowledge. You know, ask her, "Hey, you saw this, right?" Just shakes her head.
Movie
Just
knowledge.
Yeah,
Don't even embarrass him, because we all know who the king of movie trivia is. Don't bring me another victim to embarrass.
All right. I'm not going down. I'm not going down that trail yet right now. But cheers.
You said that you help the spirits find their way home to the light, whatever the case may be. I've always been curious about that, because I've heard a lot of people say that. You see it on TV shows, the paranormal shows, like we're going to quote unquote exorcise the house, exorcise the demon, or help this spirit move on to the next world. How do you go about doing that? What is the process with that?
Man, like I said when I first started, is you got to be a human being, brother. You gotta go in patient. You got to go in calm. Sometimes it'll throw you. Sometimes it gets pretty hectic. But I cannot do it. I can't. I have to call on help. This is why, come in with the mental state of calmness. Also come in and let whatever God that you worship know that, hey, I'm going to go do this. I might need some help. Can you be on standby? So you kind of go in those directions, man, and really ask for help. And 50% of the times it works out.
Okay.
So, and this is a subject that is up for debate. I've actually had the conversation with people in the past. I've seen it on other forums and other shows. In your personal opinion, why do you think ghosts are lingering around? Why do you think that they're still here?
Glick, there's a everybody has a reason. Every person, every ghost out there has their own specific reason for doing this. One little girl, she was held back by a ghost that went with her, a lady that went with her, passed with her. She held her back. Another lady I talked to, a ghost, I asked, do you want to cross over? She's no. I like it where I'm at. I want to stay right here. And then I've had several people tell me, yeah, I need help. And that's when you try to do what you can, man,
that ghost that's like, no, I want to stay here, has got a chip on their shoulder and a vendetta against someone that they want to sit there.
I think it would be pretty dope if I'm given the opportunity to either go wherever the hell my spirit goes at the end of the day when I die, or if they're like, yo, if you want, you can hang out and fuck with people. I'm like, I spent my entire life fucking with people. I'm going to hang out and continue to fuck with people. Mainly Blaze if he's still alive.
Oh man. Oh, if I were to die tomorrow, I already have a list of people I'm going to fuck with.
Yeah.
No, man. You think about it though, you get bored with that. Don't you think, man? After let's say a millennium, you're just like, all right, I'm tired of this shit. I've seen it all. It's time to go home, man.
I mean, I guess if you got tired of it or got bored with it, but then maybe you could. Obviously, you have the option if you want to go on to the next world or not. But I mean, I just think of you get new people like every 100 years or 50 years or whatever, or if I'm just chilling in my house and I don't like the new people that are living there, then I just do all kinds of fucking crazy shit, make the walls bleed and, the kids flirt around and then they leave and maybe I get new people that are cool that move in and they're like, yo, what up, ghost dude? And I'm like, what up, living people?
I think part of breaking up the boredom would be finding new and interesting ways to fuck with people.
Yeah.
Here's something I don't have an answer for. I've thought about this for years. It's like, okay, wait a minute. If a ghost decides to stay here, if a person decides to stay, I really don't like the term ghost all that much, but if they decide to stay here, man, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, I'm done, I want to go, and they can't, and they're asking me to help them. Mm-hmm. Why? Don't you wonder that sometimes? Like, okay, why can't you do it? You're the spirit,
Yeah.
So something's keeping them here. I don't know.
So you said you don't like calling them ghosts. I apologize. I've been referring to them to ghosts for
no. It's cool.
The entire thing. I'm sorry about that.
No, man, it's cool. I'm good with it because everybody does it, and I'm used to it.
Okay.
If you think about it, what's a ghost is nothing more than a human without a body, man.
Which
and the funny thing about that is,
thing.
if a person's good when they pass and they stay around, well, there's still gonna be some good people. You know what I mean? But if they're an asshole, then they're gonna be an asshole ghost. You run across them, man. Believe me, they're out there, probably hunting their relatives.
This guy's gonna be an asshole ghost.
I forgot what you were commenting about, the same rules for psychedelics, but I like psychedelics. I do want to go back. Somebody had brought up pareidolia. Pareidolia is something I'm familiar with. Glick, are you familiar with pareidolia?
Not right off the top of my head.
Pareidolia.
Not that word.
Pareidolia is a mental phenomenon or brain phenomenon, cognitive phenomenon, where because our brains, we're pattern seekers, and our brains, the way our brains function, and we'll see things. You ever like sitting there on the toilet and you're staring at the ceiling or the floor and the way the patterns are? You see a face, or you see a face in the creature.
Okay.
That's pareidolia. That's pareidolia.
Like when people see Jeebus in the potato chip.
Exactly. Yes, that's pareidolia. Is that something that's very common within the ghost hunting, or a lot of misinterpretations because of that?
No, not at all. Actually, that's more in the religious communities. Like he said, saw Jesus in a potato chip, or saw Mother Mary coming out of a faucet in the ghettos, or whatever, man. But no, you analyze it. And if it looks like pareidolia, then let it go, man. It's not evidence.
Oh, I agree. Okay. Well,
but at times, ghosts will actually, they're gonna, if they get the energy to actually appear before you, if you can see them physically, almost, sometimes they look a little off. They're trying to put this together themselves. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it might be a case of, okay, that might be pareidolia, but at the same time, no, that's, you see every feature on this dude, his ears are just too big, whatever. You know what I mean?
So, Angel, Tarantula in the chat has brought up a couple times the idea of quote unquote possession, where a ghost or a spirit will take over a human body. She wanted to know, do you think that you can allow to coexist in the same body? So I guess I think she's maybe wondering if a spirit could be like, well, as long as you're cool with it, I'm cool with it. I'm inside you now. And maybe the two spirits become one and one human host.
That would be consensual, man. for a spirit or a ghost to inhabit another person's body. They can't just step in willy-nilly. Demonic possession, on the other hand, they can come on in. And why that is, I don't know. Different rules, I guess, for, location, up or down.
Yeah.
But I've never seen it. I've never seen it happen.
Consent does matter. Yes. 100%. That's like my number one rule in the world. That's like my only rule, consent.
But ghosting can do some things, man, that'll really piss you off. I got called to a house. This little girl was 15, very beautiful little girl. And some ghost was just hanging out. He was a 30-year-old man hanging out in her bedroom. So I had to get him out of there. Bad, man.
Speaking of fucking
man, that's some
creepy perv ghost.
Yeah, just think about it. Like I said, man, a ghost is the same as they were when they were had a body. They're just now, on the other side. They passed, crossed over. Now, when I say I mentioned ghosts and spirits, when a body ascends, when a person ascends, they can come back, no problem. Then they're a spirit, and they are, much more powerful, much more willing to help. And a lot of family members will see this of their own family.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe in the theory that over time, a ghost may have the best intentions, or a spirit, whatever the case may be, may have the best intentions, and it may be super chill, but over time, because of being in that the spirit realm or the spirit world, they start to lose their mind. They start to lose what connected them to their human side, and that's where we get a lot of our poltergeists, or our more violent entities and stuff like that, where you got the the door slamming and stuff like that. Do you think that happens, or just generally you are who you are when you die?
Nope, it happens, brother. Think about somebody who is locked up in a prison and gets sent to solitary confinement for 6 months. He's not coming out of that cage right in the head most times. So ghosts is the same way. They get frustrated. They feel like they're in solitary because nobody can see them, nobody can talk to them, and they're trying. But you can see them losing their mental, faculties over something like that. And I have seen it. Yes.
Word. I want to go ahead and start rolling to a break real quick. We're coming up on the hour. We only blocked it for about 2 hours. I think I want to come back and tell ghost stories or spirit stories of encounters. I don't personally have one. I have one that was told to me about me. I'll share that one. It's real short and sweet. But I know, Kurtis, I know you have a bunch. I would love for you to share with the audience. Glick, I know has one or two. I think
I've got several of them. I'll try to keep them short and sweet. But real quick before we go to break, if it's all right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I want to go back to the psychic conversation. When we were talking about psychics. Kurtis, do you ever feel like you might be into that realm of the psychic world with the way you say that you feel and you connect and you can talk to them? Like you said, they greet you at the door. Sometimes they just have a full-on conversation with you. Do you feel like you might be a little bit more into the psychic world than you think you are?
I will say this, man. I will go into the house, okay, a haunted place, and I'll be able to tell you if it's male, female, age group. Are they angry? Are they happy? Things of that nature, just by walking through. I wouldn't call it psychic myself. It's just I feel, I'm not really sure what psychic means because I've never experienced it myself.
So more into the sensitive world. You're more in tune with your sixth sense, so to say.
Intuitiveness.
I don't know. I do know this, and I know how people can get to that point if people want to. It's doable. It's doable, man. Anybody can be. So,
Glick, you have anything else before we roll into a quick break?
No, let's take a quick break.
I wanna thank producer Mike tonight for helping us on the back, and he's gonna roll us into a break real quick. Well, welcome back. Sorry guys, you know, the hour mark, my old man bladder. So we're gonna press on with some stories. I know Kurtis has got some cool ass stories. He was touching on one today, but I'm gonna let him go into it. Kurtis,
which one was it, man?
It was one we said we weren't going to bring up, but I think it's after watching the audience, I think it's a good story to bring up. So
I'll tell you what, I've got one for you that shocked the hell out of me. I was doing the theater in E-Town, you know, the State Theater there, Josh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm up there doing that place, and it's got a long history, man. You know, the balcony was reserved for initially blacks to have to sit in, segregation time frame, which yuck, right? Mm-hmm. So then they turned it into a place for couples to go. So they had love seats up there. All right, now they have regular seats. I was up there investigating, and one of my investigators, a female, says, "Hey, something just touched my thigh." All right. I sent the two females downstairs into the main theater area, and then something touched me, and places that, you know, will kind of make you blush if I had to say it out loud. So I go back and listen to this information, man. And can I this is kind of X-rated stuff here, or R-rated. Can I say it?
We are 18 and up, not safe for work network. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
All right. I've got EVPs, man, and she's saying, "Oh yes, come on, fuck me." This is a ghost telling me this.
Nice. Did
She
you?
says it twice, man.
Dude,
Did
you
you?
have those EVPs. Those are the
I have
EVPs
them,
I
of
would
course I
love
have.
to fucking share, man.
No, I
Yes.
definitely have those. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Did you get some ghost pussy or
No,
what?
I didn't do her.
Oh, come on.
What's that?
Sexual healing with no feeling.
Yeah,
Oh my.
that's a once in a lifetime offer, man. You gotta get it when you can.
Well, think about it, man. Would you ever think that that would be a request? I mean, I've had ghosts request to hold my hands, to kiss me, or me to kiss them, but
I mean,
that was just straight, and it sounded like she was already busy. So it was like, wow,
Yeah.
what is going on here? I never thought.
I mean, do ghosts get horny? Do ghosts get horny? That's the question.
Casper the horny ghost hasn't heard of hashtag Me Too movement.
Yeah, that was a first for me, man.
Is it
I think
cheating
that's
if you hook up with a ghost?
Would you
I don't
know?
know. Maybe I already did and just don't know it. There you go, Blazin. It's like,
yeah,
well,
maybe. Hashtag Me Too.
You know, those while you sleep nocturnal emissions. You know, I'm just saying.
there you go. Yeah. Yeah, so that was one that I thought was funny, man. I just didn't see it coming. When I heard it, I was like, wow, I can't believe that happened.
My. Yeah, I want to. Oh God, I want to listen to those EVPs.
Yeah, I would love to hear them.
Man.
Anybody who wants to brave it, go to the State Theater, and E-Town, and sit up in the balcony on the left side when you're looking at the screen, and I don't know, enjoy whatever you're looking for, I guess.
I mean, maybe like you said, you're still the same person you were before you died when you're a ghost. Maybe ghosts have needs. Maybe they got needs and wants and desires too. Who are we to judge? We don't kink shame, Blaze.
Kiwi the spirit. Oh man.
But yeah, guys, I've got a million of these stories, man.
Man, this is your stage tonight, my friend. So go for it. We are here for some ghost spirit hunting stories or encounters, or the first hour was more of a Q&A thing. So this is
something I would love for people to hear is relatives as ghosts or spirits. I'm sorry, not ghosts, spirits.
I got you saying it now.
Yeah. I have an aunt, man, who she passed in the mid-90s, and she's been so involved with our family ever since. Everybody who has passed, and I'm 60 now, so we're old. At my grandmother's deathbed, my mother's, my Uncle Buddy, everybody, she has always been there, and she always visits the hospital even when they're sick. Not just on the deathbed type thing. And I've encountered her every time, and I'm like, wow, that is insane, man. So if people would just open up a little bit, and you got to understand, when a person has passed, they can come back and visit. If they've ascended, they can come back and visit anytime. And every time that you are involved in a tragic situation or a situation of a lot of joy, they're going to be there. And I promise you, if you look for them, you'll see them. You'll know. Not physically see them as in, okay, I see her floating around there, but you'll know they're there. Just look, man. They're there.
Now I did say I had one ghost story to share, and it just happens to piggyback off what you had just talked about, relatives. Of course, I this isn't my it's my story, but I was 2 when it happened, so it was told to me. Apparently, I was a toddler. I was underneath my crib, chilling, doing toddler things, probably playing with blocks. I don't know. But apparently I was under there talking to someone. And everybody just come to the conclusion that I was talking to my dead grandfather because I kept referring to him as Grandpa Bob. But I was just a toddler talking to some random thing that wasn't underneath the crib with me. So that's basically my ghost story. That's the only ghost story I have. So,
When I do work, guys, be it the paranormal or the other stuff that I do, I will call on my ancestors, what I call my ancients, to back me up when I do it. And I think everybody probably should do that as well, just for protection, because they will come. They will gather around you, man. So, you know,
yes.
that's something to think about if you're going to step out for the first time. Get some backup, man.
Yes, Michael, my story sucked. I didn't say it wasn't.
Speaking of the relative thing, like I said, I could tell you guys stories for days, but this is one that really kind of sticks out. Shortly after my oldest daughter was born, she's 20 now. I started noticing, like, out of the corner of my eye, usually between, like, when she would go to bed at night or she was napping during the day, usually between where her bedroom was and where I would be at, something out of the corner of my eyes. And it took me a few months, and I finally realized it was a little blonde hair girl in a little dress. And I didn't say anything to anybody. See her all the time. And every time we moved, she was there in between wherever my daughter was sleeping and we were at. And it took about 4 years, maybe right around 4 years, about the time my second daughter was born. My ex-wife and I were sitting in our living room one night, and the girls, all of our bedrooms were upstairs, and the girls were upstairs in bed. We were watching TV, and I seen her on the stairs, and I didn't pay no mind. I'm used to her at this point. It's been going on for 4 years. I happened to look at my ex-wife, and she's got this look on her face, and I'm like, play it off like, no, you okay? What's wrong? You feeling all right? And she's like, yeah. I think everything's fine. And she went upstairs to check on the girls. I said, what are you doing? She's like, I just want to make sure they were in bed. I said, you see her? And she's like, who? The little blonde haired girl. And she's like, yeah. I said, yeah, she's been with us since Austin was born. This followed us everywhere we lived in Ohio, even when we moved down to South Carolina. She was around for a few years. Well, we found out shortly before we moved to South Carolina, her great-grandmother had passed away, and going through old family pictures, the little girl turned out to be her great-great-grandmother, because we found a picture of her in the same exact blue dress, or the same exact dress with her hair the same exact way. And it turned out she was her great-great-grandmother, and we just kind of chalked it up as kind of a guardian angel, a spirit, watching over the girls, making sure they were safe. And everything, right. Making sure everything was calm, cool, and kosher. And I've seen her a couple times since. Usually, when things are crazy and things are getting a little stressful and hectic, especially like with the girls, I'll see her pop up. But it was just kind of crazy to happen to just be going through her great grandmother's stuff and come across that picture, and both of us knew exactly as soon as we seen it who she was, and it all made sense at that moment. So.
To me, that's crazy awesome, man. You know what?
Ghost story about your is there a ghost story about your mom, Glick?
Yeah, I think somebody's overstepping his producer roles. You're meant to be not seen and not heard. But yes. So and this is kind of an abbreviated story with my mom. So my mom passed away about 15 years ago.
Wally?
She was cremated. And when I initially got her ashes, it was right before we left to go to South Carolina. So she got put in a box, and she got put in the closet. And it was just kind of one of those things, as we unpack, we'll find a spot for mom, whatever. I'm sitting at home one night, minding my business. It's late, and all hell breaks loose in that closet. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Get up, go over to the closet. Everything is everywhere. Mom's ashes are sitting on the shelf. I'm like, well, that's a little odd. But, then I jokingly yelled at my mom, thanks for making a mess that now I have to clean up. So get everything cleaned up. Put her back in the box. Everything's cool for a little while. And then a few months later, it happens all over again. And it just so happened we were getting ready to move into our house. So I was like, screw it. I'm just going to put her in the car until we move and everything like that. And she was out in my car for a few months. I was like, oh, shit, mom's under my driver's seat. Fuck, I better bring her in. So I bring her in and I put her up with all my keepsakes. I've got a box with all my keepsakes and all my important stuff. Obviously, mom's ashes are pretty important. I don't want to lose them. And after about a week or two of her being there, again, I'm sitting there hanging out, playing video games, whatever. Everything, just shit comes flying off the shelves. Shit's flying out of the closet. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ! All right, Mom, back to the car with you because there's nothing out there you can destroy. You know, and that's where she's been ever since because that seems to be where she's happiest at. And it's a running joke here on the network, but my ex-girlfriend used to call her Road Rage Ranja because she would slide out from under the seat if you were hitting your brakes too hard or took a corner too hard and slam into the back of your ankles. And so she calls her Road Rage Ranja. But I leave her out there because that's apparently where she wants to fucking be is in my car. I don't know if that's maybe she's watching over me and keeping me safe driving, or I don't know. Maybe she's just as much a lunatic in the afterlife as she was when she was alive.
Sounds to me like she's pissed off, man.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you, my mother-in-law, I never met her in the flesh, man. When I met my wife, first travel we did was to go to her mother's what do they call them now? Life celebration.
Oh yeah.
First time I ever met her. Okay. Family is wonderful. They told me everything about about her mom. And it was cool, man. Until we got home. And Mom apparently likes she like I said, we never met in the flesh, but she was gonna change that pretty quick.
What?
Yeah, I cook a lot, man. It's like a hobby of mine. I cook a lot, man. So I bought this masa and put it up so I can make tortillas the next day. Went to get it the next day, it's gone. I'm like, well, okay, shit. How in the hell's that happened? Looked everywhere for it, couldn't find it. Then I see my wife go from the hallway back into the bedroom back there, right? My mother-in-law and my wife look identical. So I went to follow her to ask her something, and nobody's there. I come back out, and I meet my wife coming this way. And I said, did you just go in the bedroom? She goes, no. And to seal the deal, man, my mother-in-law, my wife has 2 children that live with us still. She was not allowed to smoke in the house, my mother-in-law. So now she blows it right in our face. Now that she's gone, we get this puff of cigarette smoke surrounding our heads. And it's like, okay, we get it.
I'd have to smack a ghost after that.
No, man, but yeah, and to this day, she makes an appearance all the time in the house. I'll see her walk behind me. She'll, move shit around and hide shit from me. And this shit she knows that I'm about to use, is gone. And you know what? None of it comes back, man. It's just gone.
Huh. Man, she sounds like a better mother-in-law than I had. So I'm just saying. You never had to meet her in the flesh. Ghost assault is real.
I deal it, man. I love it. See her walk through the house, or to see her, or to smell her cigarette smoke, because nobody smokes in our house. But you'll smell it. I mean, it's definite cigarette smoke. Yeah, it's her. It's her doing her business. Damn. Can't wait to meet her. And after this, when I go, I want to meet her and say, okay, what the hell, man?
What's the deal? Where's my shit?
So, do you have any stories or any experiences with ghosts other than humans? And I say ghosts, I meant spirits, but I did a little inquiry online before this, and apparently animal spirits are a thing too.
Yep.
Yay, nay, confirm, deny.
Absolutely, man. I've got EVPs of this in a room, and a dog is whining.
Sorry, I was laughing at Mad Dog.
Well, it sounded like a dog who just needed to be petted. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's happened a few times. Had videos sent to me. They weren't mine. Of animal spirits leaving the animal's body, and you can see it. And people ask me, "Hey, can you check this out and make sure it's not a fake?" And a majority of them are, yeah, sure. But there are those 10%. They're like, "Wow, this is awesome." You know what I mean? So yeah, they exist, man. No doubt about it.
Pepper.
And I know the religious world is about to jump all over that one if they're actually listening.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I know under some Christian doctrines, animals don't have spirits or souls like humans, so it doesn't. But some do. I don't know. I'm not really worried about that. I'm worried about your field. Yeah, I don't. So,
if you
actually, go ahead, Kurt.
Blazin, did you want to talk about what we talked about earlier, man?
Yeah. So you had brought that. Okay. So, Kurtis brought up a story about when he was in the military, when he was on a deployment, on an operation. He had asked me if it was okay. I told him I wasn't too sure. Now that Modog's here, hey Modog, you okay with a combat / related ghost story? You don't have to answer, but I'm gonna let Kurtis go ahead and tell it. But I am gonna. There's the warning. So, go ahead, my dude.
Okay. This was in Bosnia, man. We had gone in to separate the Serbs and the Bosnians from war, according to the Dayton Peace Accord, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, it comes down to this. There's a big valley called Tuzla Valley. Huge. Right in the middle of it, man, was this, what they call a mountain, I call a massively big hill. That kind of thing. So whoever owned that hill owned Tuzla Valley, because nothing comes in without being hit, right? Artillery, all kinds of things like this. So that hill was highly contested. Thousands of soldiers died fighting up that hill to gain, superiority on it. Okay, that's a setup. After we got them apart, we were assigned to take that, on that hill. And we were a platoon up there, which is about 40 guys, and that's when things started happening that which is, for me, it was a wonderful thing, because this place was fucking haunted, man. I had a soldier call me from, and this is, our small radios. I was sergeant of the guard that night, and he calls me and says, "Sergeant Collins, are you coming up my tower?" And these towers were put in and made, they're metal. And I turned around with my nods and looked at his tower. I said, "No, I'm not coming up your tower, man." All of a sudden, my soldier dives out of the tower. Bam, he's out. Didn't take the stairs. Somebody was marching up into his tower, and I'm sitting there watching, and there's nobody coming up this tower. So a couple nights later, I'm out there again, and it's kind of foggy outside. And one of my soldiers reported movement, and I turned and looked, and he said movement in perimeter. And I turned, there's a soldier walking with a rifle, not in my uniform. So I take off like a bat out of hell. I've got my weapon drawn. I'm gonna get this guy. Follow him into the communication tent, and man, it's not pareidolia. I promise you this. I could see the laces on his boots, and I followed him in. And the wonderful thing about the communication tent was there was no way out. It was just one way in. So I figured I got him, and I went running in, weapon drawn, nobody there, nobody at all. Other things that happened there was we set up the booby traps around our perimeter, and when we did, as soon as we got done doing it, they went off one at a time in unison all the way around the perimeter. Nobody up there, nobody near them. They just one at a time went off. So yeah, man, this is my soldiers had a good time with that one. And that went on for the entire time we were there. That kind of thing.
Yeah. There. You're muted, please.
these big bad infantrymen that I had with me, and they were great guys. They were good soldiers.
Mm.
I said, "Hey, man, let's do a seance," and not one taker. They're like, "Hell no."
Not today. Not today, Satan.
They
Man,
wanted nothing to do with that.
I think that'd be the last place I'd want to do a seance. Not that I believe it would work, but in a war torn area. Just that thought alone, like if shit were real, that would be probably the worst place to try to prove it.
I'd be down.
It looks like fuck it.
I'm with you. I would have been like, fuck yeah, let's do this. Let's do it, Sarge. I'm in.
But yeah, I had no takers that day, man. I'm gonna tell you what. And here's the funny thing: they sent a chaplain up to talk to our guys, because that's the kind of problem this was causing. Everybody's like, shit, I got to get out of here. It's haunted. So the chaplain comes up and talks to everybody. Said, "Oh no, it can't be a ghost. No such thing. Yada yada yada." I had no equipment with me, so I couldn't prove it either way. To the chaplain. But there it is. And all of them are looking at the chaplain and shaking their head. You're wrong.
The chaplain already believes in spirits, though, so I mean, he can't tell you you're wrong.
Well, it depends, man. And we're not going to get into this. I don't want to. It depends on your denomination, brother.
This is true. It's very true. Very true.
There it is.
Did you have any other ghost experiences while you were in the spirit experiences when you were in the military? I will break that habit.
No, don't worry about that. What it is, Blazin, it's not about a ghost and a spirit are two different animals.
Yeah,
okay. They're two different animals, man. A spirit has ascended. It's a human being that has ascended, gone on, and is coming back to visit. That's a spirit, and they can do all kinds of things that a ghost cannot do. A ghost, on the other hand, is a guy or a girl who has passed and has never ascended and stayed here, and they're the same person they were when they passed, man.
So you're not the same person after you've ascended?
No, sir, you are not. Not at all.
In which way?
They can move around. They can be there, man. Like I was saying, they can be there in your saddest and happiest moments.
Oh, okay. So they change in the aspect from a ghost where they can go and not go, or where they have more freedom of movement. I was thinking they personality changes or something. That's what I was. That's the change I thought you meant.
I would tell anybody this: if you want to start reading into this, start reading about the near-death experiences, and get it from people who are like doctors and nurses, and they'll tell you. It's all written in there, man. There's books and books on this stuff, and they'll tell you what's going to go down once you pass. So I'd research that. I would definitely research that.
NDAs, near-death experience. Yeah, NDEs. NDEs. I have actually heard. I've heard stories of NDEs from other people. I know that's a big thing. I know it's an overlap with the spirits. Community. I don't like saying it that way because that sounds marginalization, and I don't like saying that. So
I have a pretty cool EVP, man. I don't know if you looked at all the stuff I have on YouTube. Not that I posted there in many damn years, but I asked for help, man, and you can actually hear a choir singing in harmony to help me out.
If anybody paid attention to the intro, except for the very last screaming end, the rest of the static, the EVP is actually from your YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did splice in one of your EVPs into the intro of this. So you guys wanna listen back to that later on. That's in there. Also, if you guys want to reach out to Kurtis, if you guys have a haunting you guys want investigated, I don't know if you're still in that game, but it seems like you are. I did put your email address in the description, but I put the 3hourparanormal@gmail.com. Is that a valid email?
No, I kind of, man, I left the team. I told everybody, okay, we're done. I went solo. I didn't, because it was getting too much like they were trying to be like Ghost Adventures, and you know,
Okay.
the screaming, the yelling, and so no. If they want to email me at my personal email address, the one that you have, Colker at
Okay.
1973 at gmail.com.
I will. Hey, Glick, you want to go ahead and carry the conversation while I make that edit right now? Actually.
Okay. When it comes to investigations for you, Kurt, is it solely is it based off request that people have asked you to come and check the, or like I said before, there's some places that are well known that you just see if you can get into and go for your own personal
Both, Glick, both. Most of them are requests. Most people are requesting it, and that's probably 80% of how I get into places. But I also go to governments. The town mayor or whoever. I see there's a church that I wanted to hit for so long, and they won't let me in because it's a hazard.
Okay.
So they won't let me in it, man. But I've been trying for years to talk to mayor and let me in this place, in E-Town, or I'm sorry, Hardin County. And staying in the loop, Meade County gets a hold of me every year and asks me to do a presentation during Halloween, so I do that because I'm getting in favor there. So if I see something I want to do and it belongs to the government, then you know what? They'll let me in, hopefully. Except for the Battle Witch. Not
being down there in the area or knowing the area very well. I mean, I've been through Elizabethtown and whatnot a few times, but it was more just passing through. Is the area down there pretty haunted? I mean, is there a lot of haunted locations and whatnot down there in your guys' neck of the woods?
Some things you really need to look at. Everybody who's watching this, look at the geography and look at what's going on in the world around you. Look at what's going on in space. This might seem crazy, but we are on a massive lime deposit, huge, and that will keep energy in it. So ghosts have more of an opportunity to pull that energy and make contact. Okay. Look at weather. If you want to do a paranormal investigation inside a house or a business, if you can do it during a storm, oh man, you are going to be sizzling that night. It's going to be really, really cranked up. And also, I mentioned this to Blazin, man, space weather, believe it or not, solar flares from the sun hit us. Okay. And for 3 days after a good size one, for 3 or 4 days, man, we are electric on the planet, or when that flare popped off, that hemisphere of the planet is going to be really charged up. So things to consider, man.
I was not able to update the description because we're live at the moment, but I did drop his email in the comment section, guys. So reach out if you have a investigation, and if it's close and local, you guys might just see me as well.
My last investigation was in Ratcliffe. I have a tattoo parlor that I frequent quite a lot, man, and that place. The first time I went in there for a tattoo, man, I felt something. And I'm like, hey, whoa, what is going on here? Went back for a second tattoo, and I saw the silhouette pass, in through walls in a cubicle pass by. So I started asking the tattoo artists, and these guys are great artists, man. They are amazing artists. But I started asking them, I was like, hey, talk to me. Something going on here? And every one of them said, oh, yes, there's a... Huh?
Oh, no, you said something was going... You asked if something was going on here. I thought you meant...
Yeah.
In the stream. No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, no. The tattoo parlor. It's a place in Radcliffe. It's Scarlet
Yes.
Rose Emporium. If you guys, man, if I were you, and I've done this there, and like I said, I just did an investigation there. But take a voice recorder with you, man. Sit down with one of the artists,
Yeah.
and let that voice recorder run. Have a conversation with the artist, and chances are somebody's going to chime in and say, "Hey, I have a different opinion," which will be the ghost, of course.
I have been thinking about getting some ink lately. I might have to go check that place. It's not that far. It's not that far at all.
Something else I wanted to bring up, if I may, how to conduct an investigation with multiple people.
We're getting there, Michael. We're getting there.
Are we going to talk about Friday?
We will here.
Oh, okay.
I was going to wait in about another 10 minutes or so.
For new people that are trying to do an investigation, man, go by the numbers. Take it slow. Don't rush in. Don't, say, "Hey, I got a voice recorder. I am a ghost hunter," and off you go.
If you were to throw together just off the top of your head an elevator pitch, a beginner's kit in spirit hunting or ghost hunting, maybe the top 4 or 5 items you might need to get started, what would those be? Even if it's 5, it could be just 3 or 2.
It's 2, man. Take a voice recorder, okay? Take a camera.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing fancy. Don't need any of that shit. What you need to do is to have a plan and know how to do an investigation. The one thing that kills an investigation, man, is a lot of people talking at the same time. It's like here right now. I can't talk over you because there's a delay, right? So same with the ghost hunting. One person talks at a time. That's it. And you keep your questions short. And then you wait 20 seconds before another person talks. That way.
This guy don't ask questions.
But that way, if there is a ghost responding, he's not going to get drowned out by one of the team members because they're running off in the mouth.
Fair.
It's I've had to tell people, basically nicely as I could, say, "Hey, you know what? Shut the fuck up. Be quiet. Let's do this thing. Do it right."
That makes sense because if you're out there recording sound, you're not going to want to. Yeah. Okay. No.
And understand that, and this has happened quite a bit with new investigators. It's not about you, man. It's not about you. You go out there. We're not here to hear your woes and moes or whatever you want thinking about. It's about the ghost. Focus on the ghost only. Nothing to do with you whatsoever. Don't say, "Well, I'm an empath," and yada, yada. No. Shut up and ask the simple question. Leave it alone. Let it go. And on to the next. So cooperation, everybody has to understand that kind of thing. Otherwise, you're going to miss some of the best stuff you can get.
Now, so Michael brought it up. I think I did touch on this a little bit. Friday night, Michael and I are going to be doing a pre-record for Nonsense and Chill. So we will not be live, but there will be a pre-record. Lights, camera, discussion. Why? Because Michael's coming down to see this motherfucker right here. Is he's going to be behind the camera because I'm going out with Kurtis Friday night for a ghost hunt in a local cemetery. So with that being said, I'm so excited for this. So that means there's going to be more of this to come later. We're going to have footage of us out there doing this ghost hunting. I'm also going to meet up with Kurtis later and go over all the stuff that we record and see what we find. With that being said, Kurtis, as a beginner, what kind of questions are typically asked when confronted with a ghost that you've never met, you don't know anything about, you're trying to learn, see what's going on?
Ask the ghost something they love. Hey, are you married? Do you got children? How old are you? What did you do for a living? Those kind of things. Be personal. Be calm about it. Worst thing you can do is say, "Hey, how did you die?" That's kind of something that you're not trying to throw out there right off the bat.
Location.
Okay.
No, we're not picking up.
Actually, that's okay. Say age, gender, location. That's cool, but I don't know, man. I was in a cemetery, man, and dude, I didn't even see it coming. This little girl took my hand, and it was so awesome. I felt her hand is so small, man, and I kind of started walking, and I have zero proof of this shit. Zero. I'm sorry, I don't. She didn't say a word, but I'm walking. I'm hand down. This little girl just holding it, man. So anything can happen. So Friday, hopefully. Now, like I said, I was told this cemetery is haunted. I don't know. Haven't been there, but we'll find out.
So, surprisingly enough, the liquor store that I work at, the local liquor store, is apparently haunted too.
Bullshit.
No, you. All right. So that liquor store used to be a bar back in the fucking 80s and early 90s before it was turned into a liquor store in the late 90s. Apparently, there was patrons that has died in there. The one that I know, there is pictures of passed away people that used to go there, and one of them, their ashes were actually in that store up until recently. And apparently, that place was haunted. Talk to Bradley that works there. He'll tell you the entire thing. He is.
Sam,
what's that?
Does Sam know about this?
No, Sammy doesn't know nothing about it, dude. No. I mean, he might have heard the story, but Sammy, I don't think believes in it, in that stuff. So, I mean, to tell you the truth, since I've worked there, and this is the second time I'm working there part time, even the prior time it was told, and I never saw anything. I heard stories, but I personally never experienced anything.
I've been in there a million times, which go to show you what kind of alcoholic I am. But never felt a thing. I've been all through that store a million times, dude. So I just say bullshit because, I've been through there so much. And normally if something's in there, unless it's a kid, I have a real hard time picking up on children. But anybody else, man, I would know right away.
That place used to be a bar and now a liquor store. I don't think really kids have ever really gone in there. So, I mean, I could be wrong. God, I hope. I hope no kids have been in there. But there's the town or the area Kurtis and I live in. I hear ghost stories all the time. Yeah, I brought this up. I brought this up to my parents. I was like, "Hey, I'm doing an interview with a ghost hunter," and blah blah blah. And Mom's like, "Oh, there's a ghost in my house." I'm like, "Really, Mom?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, but man, people are so afraid of this stuff, and I don't understand why. I mean, we're all going to be there, like it or not. We are going to be there, but nobody ever gives that any thought because it's a scary thing, I guess, for a lot of people. That you will be there one day. But yeah, man, I had people contact me, and they just bought a house, and apparently didn't get the history of the house prior to buying it, and they paid for it. Before that, it was rented out, and renters could not stay longer than 3 months in a place. It was so haunted. So they reached out to me.
I've heard of places like that, and I've always wanted somebody to reach out to me and be like, "Hey, man, this place is really haunted. I'll give you blah 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 if you can stay there for whenever time." I'm open to a challenge like that.
I am too. And get this, these people contacted me, but then later on decided, well, we really don't want that kind of help around here. My cat's going nuts. Sorry. What, dude?
You're fine. Pets are always welcome and allowed.
This guy, man.
So do the people in this house just coexist, with whatever's there?
I don't know, Glick. They asked me to come and, set things up. And I said, okay, sure. No problem. No money, free charge. And then last I heard of them. And I won't badger somebody, man. If they don't contact me back, I'll maybe ask one more time. Hey, you still need me? If nothing, then okay, well, that's off the slate for the,
Yeah. Move on down the road.
Absolutely, man.
Okay.
So this cemetery that you guys are going to Friday, are there any local legends behind it? Any stories behind it, or is it just it's a cemetery and somebody said it was haunted,
I don't
I
know
was
yet. I
told-
haven't done my research, but
or or local lore or legend or anything?
I was just told that it's very haunted, not just haunted, but very haunted. I drove through it during the day. I didn't get out of my truck. I just kind of drove through this big cemetery, huge, for especially for our county. I just drove through and didn't sense anything, but you know, when the lights go out and you're standing there on the ground, we'll see what happens, man.
Man, Kurtis,
Maybe we can make Blazin a believer.
Kurtis, I'd like to drive around the area with you. Like I said, and Glick knows. A lot of people in this network knows. I drive the back roads around here, on my just cruising. I like to cruise, listen to some tunes with the dude, and I pass a lot of cemeteries because out in this rural area, there are cemeteries in people's backyards. You'll be going down a fucking country road, and you'll see a house, a church, smaller than a house, and a graveyard with like 5 tombstones, and like it's been there for fucking centuries.
Yeah, we have that up here in Ohio too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them that are. I mean, sometimes it's just a house and then a graveyard, and there's something else around our cemetery.
I would like to drive around with Kurtis, sort of as a spirit dowsing rod, per se. If your senses go off, is it dowsing rod? Dowing rod? I don't know.
Dowsing rod, yeah, dowsing.
Dowsing rod, yeah. I use that metaphorically, but I think that would be pretty cool.
I've done it, man, all through this county. Just like you're saying, stop at the cemetery, just get out, get a feel, see what's going on. But you know something too, if there's a lot of traffic, you know, businesses doing business, people doing their thing, it'd be really hard to pick up on something, truly, because the ghosts are like, I'm not getting out there right now.
I want to read Tarantula's comment right now. Do research after. If you do it before, it could put ideas in your head and your mind could start hearing and seeing things. I see what you mean by that.
I agree with him 100%, man.
That makes sense. It eliminates any preconceived biases. But at the same time, it's like, and that's why I brought that question up earlier about cold reading a place. Is it worth investigating? But I guess that would all be about the senses.
I don't know, man. I try not to do it either. I prefer to just cold read, get in. And you would be surprised at how the smallest thing can turn into fucking Mount Rushmore blowing up again. It's crazy. Had a woman contact me and she said something I think whispered into my ear. I said, well, you know what? I'll come check it out. No problem. Man, it ended up, I did 2 investigations there. Then it ended up that she was a woman living by herself. She had 5 dogs. Her bed lifted off the ground with all 5 dogs on it and went across the room. So that was a lot. I wasn't there to see this, but the amount of evidence I got from that place was phenomenal. It's a small house, not a big deal. It was phenomenal, man. I actually asked the ghost, because this woman has so many dogs, and during the investigation, I sat down for a bit. I had one of the dogs on my lap, and I asked the woman, because I knew she was in the kitchen. I knew she was. I said, hey, can you call the dog that's in my lap into the kitchen? Sure as shit, that dog got up and went straight into the kitchen. Now, that is what you call a great intelligent response. You can't deny it, man.
Okay. See, those.
So hopefully
those are
Friday
the
night we'll get the same thing.
I hope so. I absolutely hope so. So I'm shooting with just like a Canon Rebel T7. Is there any sort of like special lighting I need to film with at night in a graveyard to pick stuff? I mean, other than, a light. I mean, and this light changes colors. I can do green if I want.
Yeah, I use I like to use these, and it's these motion sensors, and you'll see it. I'll spread these around us, so if something walks toward us, one of them will go off. Okay, that kind of thing. Also, I'll go from on my camera, I'll go to night vision, into regular vision, that kind of thing. Flip back and forth. So it's whatever you have the skill to do. And believe me, I don't have a lot of skill with that stuff. So I mainly go on what I'm feeling to take me where I need to go.
Fair. See, all right. So because I don't rely on senses, and I'm relying on yours, so you're gonna lead. You're gonna lead. One question, and this was a question that somebody brought up to me earlier today when I was talking. Permission. Going to places. I know some places are private. Some places call you, and permission is applied. But a graveyard, it's not private. It's not public property, is it? Do we need permissions? Is it legal? Good. Yeah, it's a good question.
Here's what we'll do. Back in the day, it was illegal in Kentucky and in Indiana to be in a graveyard at night. It was illegal.
Mm-hmm.
But they have eased that restriction. Now you can be in a public graveyard at night. And I will, before we go, let the sheriff's department know that it's me. I'm going to be in this graveyard tonight. So in case a patrol car comes by and sees us, they don't come, running up at us.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's totally legal, bro. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. They know me, and they know I do crazy shit like this.
Oh no, and that's always a concern for people who's never done this before. Is like, am I going to show up and get arrested somewhere? But Tarantula has a good point. Show respect to those who have family in them graves, and you shouldn't have a problem. I guess for the sake of the spirits, but I was talking about just like the legalese of it. So I don't like showing up to a place with a video camera unless I know it's public and I'm allowed to be there, because there's rules. So
well, a lot of the the graveyards, because there is a difference between a graveyard and a cemetery. Graveyards are usually affiliated with the church, or are historic, and cemeteries are usually your bigger public areas. But most of them have the same. Yes.
I just learned that today because I thought they were all the fucking same.
No. So a lot of cemeteries, and even graveyards, they have a lot of the same rules like public parks and stuff like that. It's after dark, they're closed. Mm-hmm. But cemeteries are a little bit more lenient than graveyards, because graveyards are technically on private property, being owned by the church.
I think this one.
Some of them are historic.
I think this one's specifically a cemetery. Then,
yeah,
so
they're usually a little bit more lenient at night, as long as you're not destroying shit.
And don't go in with a shovel.
Yeah,
no matter what you do. I'm serious, man. That will get you in some hot water. But I don't know who brought that subject up just now. Very respectful. There are people who go into a graveyard. I don't want to get myself in too much here. I always ask permission of the graveyard to come in. Always, man. I let them know, hey, I'm here. I'm not meaning any harm. And I ask permission to go in and go. And like I said, it depends on who. Exactly, man. And there are people who, and this is a bizarre shit to me, but people who are practicing witchcraft and go in to get dirt because it's from a grave, because it's supposedly can do, I don't know what they do with it. Yeah, never take out what you didn't bring in. Never leave trash. It's like the Boy Scout rule. Remember that? I don't know if you guys remember Boy Scouts, man, but it's like, hey,
I'm an avid hiker. If I see trash, I typically pick it up.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, that's my.
And it's okay, man. It's okay to go to a grave, look at it, and find interest in it, and start talking. Be respectful, but you will be amazed at the amount of graves you see that are from Civil War, World War II, World War One. You know, you can talk to these people. I'm not saying they're there. Chances are they're probably not, because nobody's going to hang around. Not many people, I guess, will hang around a grave. But yeah, man, you can pull a conversation. Absolutely, Tarantula, sacred ground, brother.
Oh my. Leave only footprints and take only memories. I fucking love that, dude. That's like a bumper sticker right there. Oh wow, I just looked at the time. Curtis, besides the email that I shared in the chat, where else can people find you? Your EVPs and whatnot.
That's it. That's it, brother. I've slowed down on what I do. I used to do it. It got so bad I was doing it like twice a week. Okay. So I pull back. You notice I haven't posted on YouTube in like 12 years or something like this. I slowed that down. I didn't. It's a lot, man. It's a lot, and it's physically draining. I've actually walked out of an investigation and didn't know if I was going to make it home because I had no energy left in my body because they pull it from me all the time. Another thing too, Blazin, if y'all come do this, make sure you have extra batteries, man. Got to have extra batteries.
I always got one in the camera or two charged.
Absolutely, because they will. If you find a very I don't want to say powerful. If you find a ghost, if we find a ghost that really can suck energy, it'll drain all your batteries quick. I mean, like within seconds.
How long do you think we'll be out there in the graveyard?
Depends on weather, and depends on if we're not getting anything.
It's supposed to be cloudy that day.
Yeah, cloudy's good, but if we're not getting anything, man, why hang around, right? If anything's around, I'll let you know. Yeah, somebody's here. We can start. We'll go in that way. So I can't give you a time.
Fair enough.
Do you have when you go in for investigations or anything? Do you have a minimal time that you'll spend?
No, sir.
Someplace before you'll call it.
I'll tell you what, Glick. When everything slows down, I'll walk away. I've been on some investigations for 6 hours. I've been on some for an hour and a half, man. Just depends on what's going on. If you know what this and I'll share this with you, Blazin, when we link up, man. I've got the investigation of the courthouse in Elizabethtown. It was so intense and so many people there. One ghost is saying, "Hey, let's kill Kurtis." Another one is just batshit crazy. It's just all kinds of craziness up in there. So I'll share that with you though when we link up. So that kind of environment, yeah, I'm gonna stay as long as I can.
Before we get out of here tonight, guys, I just want to go ahead and I just want to, hey, this is Wednesday night, so this is Wildcard Wednesday. This is what you're getting tonight. Wally stopped by. I don't know if Wally's doing a show tomorrow night. Glick, do you know if Wally's doing a show tomorrow night?
I think so, as far as I know of, but I'm not 100% sure. Real quick, what cemetery is it you guys are going to? I wanna do a little research on it personally for myself.
Okay.
Cap Anderson, CAP ANDERSEN. I drove by it. That's what I saw on top.
Cap Anderson Cemetery, Bradenburg, Kentucky.
That's the one.
Brandenburg, yep.
Yes, that's the one.
All I had to put was Cap A, and it was the first thing that popped up.
No, it's that's because the algorithm's listening to you, dude.
I know
there's a ghost in the machine. With that being said, Friday again, Michael and I will not be live, but we will have a pre-recorded show for you guys for Nonsense and Chill, lights, camera, discussion. Drop comments if you want. Watch it in the background. It's all gravy, baby, because Michael and I are going to be out there in the cemetery with this cool motherfucker right here, Kurtis. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gravely looking forward to it. Michael's going to be behind the camera this time. That's a weird turn of events. Just saying. Woot woot, motherfuckers. Catch us here Saturday night for fucking Nonsense. nonsensical nonsense. My gosh, words are hard. I think I finished that bottle of wine tonight, guys. Sunday. Are you and Cash doing anything this weekend for wrestling?
Yeah, we got Saturday or Sunday, probably Saturday, because there's a couple things going on for wrestling this weekend. So we should be back Saturday afternoon for Cash's Corner.
Okay. And then, of course, Monday, you'll see Wally if he has the show. I know Wally's schedule is crazy right now, but Tuesday, Glick, do you have what's going on Glick's House of Music on Tuesday?
Tuesday, Glick's House of Music. I have Walker Tex hanging out with me. And you'd think a guy named Walker Tex would be like from Texas or something. All the way from Ireland. He's going to be hanging out. And I was like, it's 8:00 here. He's like, well, I said, show's at 8. He's like, oh, that's like 5 hours behind me. I said, where the fuck are you at, bro? And I said, do you want to do it early or are you okay? He's like, nah, I'm good, man. I'm a rock star. I can do that. It'll be 1 a.m. here. I was like, let's go, man. So I'm excited.
Yes.
I love that I get another guest from a different part of the world. Glick's House of Music is worldwide, baby. I'm bringing them all in. But he does he does country rock. So I'm excited to hang out with him and get to know him a little bit.
If nobody's ever heard of Irish country music from way back in the day, listen to it. It's the most soothing fucking music. I used to fall asleep listening to Irish country music, getting haircuts when I was in the Air Force. It was a flight line barber that would play it, and I'd fall asleep getting a haircut. Anyway, I digress. Then that brings us back to Wednesday. We'll be back next Wednesday with a part 2 of a Paranalysis because, again, I'm going to have to show you footage of our freaking ghost hunt. So that's going to be a thing. Kurtis, you're definitely welcome back for that. Glick, if you're up for it. Michael, definitely, because Michael's going to be behind the camera. He's going to be able to Blaze, just keep your mind open. Allow your body and mind to feel. If something is around you, you'll feel it. Fair enough.
Okay, one more thing and I'm out, man.
Go for it, Kurtis.
Movie trivia. That's happening Friday night as well. So read up, brother.
Movie trivia is the last Friday of every month. And where did you just hear that?
We were talking about earlier that you know all the movie trivia, all the lines and everything, you know.
Oh, no, I don't. I host trivia. Glick's the ego man.
Oh,
yeah, okay. I hosted.
Okay, that was a challenge I was pulling to you, but okay.
I host. The challenge goes to Glick and Michael and Brian and Tony and everybody else that pops up. I'm just
absolutely.
I mean, as Kid Rock once said, it ain't cocky if you back that shit up. And, well, Michael's my whipping post, so I embarrass him on a regular basis. Same with everybody that comes in for trivia. I just embarrass them, all my little bitches.
All right.
With that being said, I want to say thank you for everybody. What's that, Glick?
I said, Kurt's welcome to join us for trivia night. I need a new victim.
I'll be there.
You can be sacrificed to the god of trivia. This guy.
Kurtis, I don't know if you know about Saturday nights, but it's open door challenge. Anybody can come up. I don't want to go too far because I'm trying to keep this at the 2-hour mark for editing reasons. So with that said, thank you for coming by on another fucking awesome Wildcard Wednesday. Glick, thank you for co-hosting. Kurtis, thanks for popping up. Producer Mike, because I'm going to call you that when you're producing. Thank you for your work behind scenes in the audience. We love you. Thank you for being there. Leave your comments, and we'll see you next time.
Nonsensical network, different flavor every day. Movie talks, new flicks hitting the display. Microphone magic, musicians spill the praise. From reptiles to motorsports, burning rubber craze. Football clashes, touchdowns, epic plays. New spinning, catching on the latest phase. Gleaming cars, engines roaring up the pace. Street tales, urban stories we embrace. Tune in, every week diverse. Groove to the beats, let the rhythm immerse. Lyrics flowing, ciphers full of verse. Nonsensical network, feel the universe. Interviews buzzing, stars in the circuit, worlds a tapestry, pieces we interpret. Hip-hop to rap, the flow never stagnant. Reptilian tales, nature's arrangement. Cars with muscle, engines with might. Motorsports roaring, speed in the night. Discussions heated, always a delight. Network of nonsense, but the vibe's just right. Tune in, wait for that beat. Flow so seamless, feeling so sweet. Urban grooves, rhythm from the street. Nonsensical network, always on repeat.